So today we're doing a deep dive into a very specific, very specialized piece of hardware. It's the NTI RACMUX-D17HR-N-24V KVM drawer.
And, the real mission here is to look at a component like this with a price tag of over $2,000 and really understand what justifies that.
Exactly. What engineering choices make it worth that much? It's not just a monitor and keyboard, right?
Not even close.
Okay, so for anyone who's not familiar, just to set the stage, a KVM is a keyboard, video, and mouse unit. This one's built into a drawer that takes up just 1 unit of rack space. 1 RU.
And the first thing you notice is the physical design. I mean, this is not consumer-grade plastic.
Oh no, it's heavy. The spec sheet says 30 pounds.
It's all rugged steel construction, durable powder coat finish. It's a beast. It's really built to last, and it can adjust for rack depths up to 40 inches.
And the connectivity also tells a big part of the story. It's got DVI, which is pretty standard, but what caught my eye was the support for both USB and, well, legacy PS2.
That part is absolutely critical. That multi-platform support is everything.
Why is that so important?
Well, think about the environments this lives in. Data centers, telecom closets. You might have a brand new Windows server next to a machine running, I don't know, Solaris or some old version of Linux.
And you have to be able to talk to all of them with the same hardware.
Precisely. You can't just rip out old systems that still work.
Yeah.
So this drawer has to bridge that gap. And of course, you can hook it into NTI KVM switches to control a whole bank of computers.
All right, but I think we're now at the core of it. The real reason for the price, the specialization, the power. That little Laninetch 24V in the part number.
That is the whole story right there. This is what pushes the engineering into, well, a whole other category.
So why not just use a standard AC power cord like everything else?
Because this specific model, the RACMUX-D17HR-N-24V, is explicitly designed to take 18 to 36-volt DC power.
Through a 3-pin terminal block, not a normal plug.
Exactly. It's built for what the manual calls a 24V telecom environment.
So let's unpack that. For you listening, this means you are not plugging this thing into a wall outlet.
No. You're wiring it directly into a centralized DC battery power system. In these critical telecom facilities, you have massive battery banks.
So if the building's AC power goes out,
there is zero failover time. Zero. The power never blips. There's no noise, no interruption. The system stays online, period. That's the promise you're paying for. It's about absolute resilience.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. But beyond that critical power design, there are some smaller features I appreciate, things that really matter when you're working in a cramped server rack.
Like the hinges on the monitor.
Yeah, the torque friction hinges.
It sounds like a fancy term, but it just means the screen stays exactly where you put it. You can tilt it up to 120 degrees, and it just stays. It's not going to wobble or slam shut on your fingers.
And the drawer locks in place when it's open, and the screen shuts off automatically when you close it. Just thoughtful design.
It is. And speaking of the screen, this is the HR model for high resolution.
Right, 1920 by 1200.
Which is really important when you're trying to read tiny text in log files or manage complex interfaces. They also didn't skimp on the keyboard. You get a full 100-key layout, a numeric keypad.
Plus that handy little USB port on the front.
For a flash drive or another peripheral, super useful.
So to summarize our deep dive here, the NTI RACMUX-D17HR-N-24V is an industrial strength KVM drawer. It's defined by its rugged bill, its legacy compatibility.
And most importantly, by that specialized 24-volt DC power input. That's what makes it a critical piece of telecom infrastructure hardware.
It really shows how these very unique, non-negotiable requirements drive very specific engineering choices and, of course, the pricing that goes with them.
It really does. Which brings us to a final thought for you. We've talked about hardware specs, a 2-year warranty, and 1-person installation. But beyond all that, how much value do you place on the promise that a piece of equipment like this, once it's in the rack, will require zero hands-on maintenance for the next 5 years?
Something to think about. We'll see you on the next deep dive.